Moving on, a top court in Canada has confirmed that the election in 2011, which led to the victory of Stephen Harper's government, was fraudulent. The federal court has emphasised in a ruling that it has found, quote, in no uncertain terms that widespread election fraud took place during the vote. The ruling also states that there was an orchestrated effort to suppress votes during the election campaign by a person with access to the Conservative Party's database. Accordingly, the Council of Canadians has called on the Conservative Party to investigate the issue. It says anything less at this point would be a cover-up on behalf of the Conservatives. Joshua Blakeney is our correspondent with me now live from Calgary. So, Joshua, are we going to see a follow-up of this? Are we going to see an investigation? Are we going to see anything happen as a result of this ruling?
Hi, Homer. Well, there have been calls by members of the opposition for a royal commission to investigate allegations of election fraud, but the Harper government obviously is seeming quite unwilling to delve into allegations that its own government might be resting on an illegitimate foundation. Of course, Press TV viewers undoubtedly will be cognizant of the fact that in 2000 and 2004, it's more or less been proven by political scientists now that the Bush regime in the United States was installed through fraudulent means. And it seems in Canada that our own sort of Bushite franchise of neoconservatism has been installed through fraudulent means. And some plaintiffs went to the courts of Canada and alleged this to a judge, and the judge has deduced that indeed election fraud took place. So this is no longer in the realm of speculation. It has been confirmed by a judge in Canada. What happened in Canada basically was that voters who come from demographics less likely to vote for the Conservative Party received automated phone messages saying, oh, your polling station has changed, and therefore please go to X address or Y address to go and vote in the upcoming election. And so when people went to the new polling station, it turned out that that was actually fictional and that there was no polling station there. So you had many Canadians after the 2011 election come forward and claim that they were disenfranchised effectively because they were misled and unable to cast their ballot. And so this, the Harper government prior to the 2011 election had only been able to attain a minority government, which meant that the opposition parties in their totality had a majority of seats in the Canadian Parliament, and that meant that for any legislation to get passed, that the Harper government had to appeal to the more left of centre parties. Now in 2011, the Harper government did seize a majority of seats in Canada's Parliament, which is why we've been able to see these radical changes happening in this country. Many would say it was kind of like a neoconservative coup d'etat that took place with this election. And so seizing a majority of seats was imperative for the Conservative Party, and this majority hinges only on about 6,000 votes. So, many ridings where there's dispute about election fraud, many of these Conservative candidates won by just like a few hundred votes. So if it had been a matter of a few hundred votes in the other direction, then maybe these Conservative seats wouldn't have been won, and possibly a majority would not have been attained by the Harper government, and all these radical changes in Canada might not have been able to have happened. So there's a kind of chain effect here. And we see now that, basically it's a highly corrupt political system in this country, as is the case in the United States. And yet these are the very countries that are preaching around the world to countries like Iran about elections and about democracy. I mean, it's quite timely that this should come out to coincide with the Iranian elections that are coming up, because we know that the Harper regime will be meddling and delving in and scrutinizing the outcome of the Iranian election. This coming from a government which itself
Joshua,
has been more or less proven now to be implicated in election fraud.
Yeah, I'm afraid I've got to stop you because we've run out of time. Big thank you there, Joshua Blakeney, our correspondent live from Calgary. The International Federation of the Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, the IFRC, is warning that rising unemployment and poverty in some parts of Europe could cause civil unrest.